nuances about the pose. And this helps us with strengthening the arm and also strengthening the core and really becoming associated with our legs and our feet. And actually, I'll make that the strongest point about side plank is that it's actually really, yes, it is a core strengthening exercise. It does weight bear through the arms, so it allows us to create bone density and to create strength in the arm, especially for women who, we tend to not have as much upper body strength as men. But really, it helps us to get in touch with our legs. And so I'll make that the statement that this is a leg pose because this is where we would need to focus on, is the legs and the feet. Maybe I should restate that. It's a feet pose, okay? So, I'll demonstrate the kind of more advanced version first, and then if you need to backtrack, you can. Okay, so to get here, there's two options, and one is from cat. Extend one leg back. Let me talk about the hands for a moment here. The hands are nice and wide, so the fingers are spread. The weight is pouring into the arms. Try to find or distinguish the difference between pushing and pouring the weight. So notice how your shoulders feel, how your upper spine feels when you push and when you pour. Okay? That could take some time. Alright, so next, exhale, reach into your back heel, then the other leg steps back, and we're reaching back through both heels. Okay. Deep breath in, exhale. Here we are in plank. Okay. That probably looked very easy, and you're going to get on the mat right now and think, okay, I'll do that. And then, of course, you go to do it, and it's like, okay, okay, this is a bit more challenging. Okay, what's happening? And the legs become very limp, yeah? And then all of a sudden, there's a lot of pressure in the arm. Everything's kind of falling apart. So, let me slow this down a little bit. Here I am. Coming back. Alright, I'm feeling for a long line through the front of my body, the back of my body. Now I rotate. Here we go. Let's start with just the feet, one foot in front of the other. Feel connected to your legs. Legs are reaching away from you. You're reaching your feet away from you, growing them into the ground, into the wall behind them. From there, it will actually feel very easy to roll up if you find the legs moving away from your head and the feet growing into the ground away from your head. Otherwise, everything's coming forward and it feels like a disaster. Ah! Yeah, okay. Let me show you the other way of getting into side plank, which is from down dog. Okay. Come here. Now you'll need to have a long stance, so walk the feet back. Take a deep breath into the belly. Reach your heels way back as you come forward. So notice what's happening in my pelvis as I come forward. The pelvis just swang under, lengthened towards my heels. I roll through my spine. And here I am neutral. Yeah. Then and ta-da! Okay. So perhaps one of those versions allows you to feel more connected to the feet, from cat or from down dog. Now, if that seems completely out of the picture for you at this moment, and that's fine, then we do what we can do, and we figure out how to break this down. So, the most beginner version, we'll say, is this one. So we come from cat, the foot rotates out. Now I'm fully grounded on the sole of my foot in this one. So that's the difference between regular plank, regular side plank, and this pose. Is that now I'm able to ground my sole of my foot completely. When we're practicing the other versions, the foot is in flexion, and it's kind of an equal energy through the heel and through the ball joints of the toes. Okay. Here we go. So I'm grounded. Now, once I feel that connection of grounding into the foot, the direction of lengthening away from my head, then it will feel easy to roll open. So if you feel unstable, disconnected to your leg and your foot, just work with breathing. And exhale, lengthen, find the foot, and once you feel that length, then roll open. So maybe your practice for some time means that you keep both hands on the floor and you just work with this, and that's fine. One little extra point is, so there's lots of movement and grounding through the straight leg. There's also weight pouring down through the knee, through the shin, the ankle, and the foot. And so by connecting with, and I usually say with the exhalation, connecting by moving down or pouring down through the legs, then that also enables stability. So it's stability with ease, though, versus stability with holding. Yeah. So again, in my approach, the difference between holding, and here I am, my whole body is very tight, versus with the breath, feeling connected to the ground, a sense of movement. So inhale, just relax, breathe, and then exhale, feel the pouring down, the rooting down through the legs. So there ends up feeling like there's a constant movement, a little bit like maybe a tree in a very gentle breeze. Inhale, maybe I'll demonstrate it for you. So the breath enables there to be dynamic movement in the posture. Inhale gives a chance just to breathe and receive energy to continue. And the exhale grounds us, relaxes the body. So, we're using the muscles more efficiently, let's say it that way. Instead of holding everything taut, we're allowing for there to be an organic sense of movement. Just like when we're walking, for example, we don't walk with tight legs. We walk with legs that are fluid, and our feet are able to articulate. Our knees can bend. Yeah, so our knees can bend, our hips can move, and we're able to feel quite at ease, not right. So this is the way I teach yoga in this respect, is there's an organic, continuous, dynamic movement with the breath. Okay, so the other version of this, so we've got our level 1 kind of beginner version, yeah. Then we've got another option, which is coming back either from cat pose or from down dog. Okay, so same entry. Then exhale and rotate on the feet, but keeping the top foot in front of the bottom foot. And that tends to give you a wider base and perhaps maybe maybe more ease than the stacked version. Okay. Here, let's talk a little bit about the foot. So just to the bottom foot. You could practice it in kind of a flexion, we'll call it. Yeah, flexion where there's movement out through the heel, through the ball joints of the toes. So that means this whole pad along the foot. There's a sense of reaching out through those 2 points. Or Mr. Iyengar, in his Light on Yoga book, he rolls his bottom foot towards the ground, and it's not able to touch completely, obviously, but it's rolling there. So you could try that. I've practiced that for many years and found it quite helpful. But every once in a while, just to change it up, because our muscles like to move in different ways, or they like it when we do move in different ways. I'll change how I approach my foot and just have it in a flexion. Okay, the front foot. Let me just change arms because it's a little much for that length of time. Okay, so the top foot is in a flexion. So we're reaching out through the heel and through the pad of the foot. And here we are. Okay. Then, as a more practiced plank practitioner, you could think about what's happening now on the side bodies. So we want an equal sense of length on the top and on the bottom, not a sagging. So the more that we reach out through the feet, then we'll find that length through both sides of the body. And of course, if you're becoming more advanced in your practice, then we actually look for movement in the spine. And so we want a sense of the spine lengthening out, down through the legs, like the legs are a continuation of the spine, and then out through the crown of the head. And so that starts to develop a more subtle awareness. So at the beginning, just work with breathing and the grounding, and then go from there. Once you can find ease and you're able to sustain the posture for some time, then you can start to tap into the more deeper practice of spinal movement. Okay, so I won't get into that one in this video. Perhaps I'll release another video that talks a little more about that for those of you that are advanced or want to advance your practice, you're ready for that stage. Until I do that, you can email me, or you can also ask questions at the bottom of this YouTube video. My email address is barrettdawn@gmail.com, and that's spelled BARRATTDAWN @gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Chillin' Tiger Yoga, or Dawn Barrett. Okay, so happy plank practicing, and I look forward to hearing any comments or questions